Hey everybody, welcome to Shooting the with Yankee. As always, I'm Yankee, so let's start shooting. Today's topic is going to be, what are some gun tropes in movies and TV? You know, some Hollywood misrepresentations of firearms that just drives you batty when you see it. Like you're watching a movie and just something that's gun related that is completely ridiculous, totally wrong, and it drives you crazy. What is it? With me, it's really hard to choose because I'm one of those people that every time I see a movie and they got guns in it, it really bothers me when I see something ridiculous. And one of the things I would say probably, though, that bothers me the most is when people draw a gun, no matter what it is, be semi-automatic or whatever. Every time striker fired, whatever. Every time you see someone pull a gun, you hear a hammer cock. Sometimes even a slide cycle, even though they're not doing that, but you hear it every time a gun comes up, click, click, you know, and I just think that's completely ridiculous. And when you add that to other things, you know, like someone gets shot with a 44 and they fly 20 feet back through a window and out to the ground, you know, those kind of things really bother me. But, you know, a lot of the things that they do can just be like, well, they just don't know how guns work, or they do it specifically because, effect. You know, like most directors are told by whoever's on set that guns don't make that noise just because you change the direction where they're pointed. But they're like, well, but it works for effect, so they do it anyway. Those bother me, but what really bothers me is when they say something that's completely stupid or could have been correct if they just bothered to know. Like, for example, on The Walking Dead, and they're in the first episode, and they're all standing there with their guns drawn, the cops on the bad guys that are coming down the road, and Rick turns to the cops and says, you know, it would help if you took the safety off, and the guy's holding a Glock. Everybody knows there's no safety. They could have given him any other prop gun, give him a Beretta, whatever. The line would have made sense. But, you know, they just didn't bother. Things like that really irritate me because, you know, they didn't pay any attention to detail. So there's all kinds of stuff like that, though. And I would love to hear what you all think. So let's go over here and see if anyone in the comment section is putting in what they think is a really bad gun trope. Remember, if you're here now live and you want me to see it, you can't put it in the comment section because I can't follow the comment section while I'm doing the broadcast. So you have to do it through the YouTube super chat, the little thing down at the bottom. Keep the donations small because YouTube takes half of it. But let me get over here. The Bearded Hamster 1979 says, hate seeing bad self-defense shoots. Well, that's one I haven't heard people complain about a lot, but it does happen a lot in movies. You know, one thing I'll even take that a little further is often in the movies, cops are very trigger friendly, and I hate that. Trigger happy, I guess I should say. So they just shoot in situations where there would probably be no justification to shoot, and nobody thinks anything of it. But yeah, there's all kinds of situations in movies where you would not be justified in shooting whatsoever, but they like, oh yeah, I shot because I was in trouble, you know, that kind of thing. So that's one I don't usually hear, though. Paul B said, James Bond shooting a helicopter out of the sky. Yeah, that kind of, you know, like, especially when he takes it down with a 32. You know, they fire a 32 at a helicopter, a gun that probably at any type of distance probably wouldn't even penetrate the metal you know, on the outside of the copter, even though it's not heavyweight steel. Yep, the plane comes down out of the sky. See that all the time. And then it seems to go either one of two ways in these shows. Either, you know, they start to fly off and the bad guy, usually if it's the bad guy, will pull out a gun and fire it at the plane or the helicopter, and it just kind of explodes and falls out of the sky. However, if it's the good guy trying to stop the bad guy, he'll have like a high-powered rifle, and he'll be boom, 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 you know, 10 shots right into the plane, and you won't see a single spark or anything whatsoever. So they tend to do that both ways. John Mandrick says, I'm not sure whether it's unlimited ammo or racking the slide of a revolver. Yes, I hate hearing that slide racking noise on a revolver when they pull out a revolver. But unlimited ammo, that's everybody remembers Herschel's shotgun that never once ran out of ammo after he shot like 50 zombies straight in a row. Now, I wish that was a thing. I wish we had never-ending ammo, guns that generated their own ammo, but it's not. And it just is something in the movies that really drives me batty, that you see them never reload ever. Can't count how many times, especially with fully automatic weapons. This is a different one. Fully automatic weapons. When you see someone with a fully automatic weapon, like a little Mac 10 or something, and they go, and then they keep walking in, they again, and I'm always like 2 seconds into that first burst, I'm like, they're out of ammo. But then they'll 10 more bursts before they ever run out of ammo. And that's usually only if it's the bad guy. If the bad guy's got the gun, never seems to run out of ammo, especially not in automatic mode. It's like they think that automatics can just, keep mowing people down for a day. Midget with Carrot Cake says, when they make all gun owners look incompetent. Well, I mean, I guess they do that. One thing they do a lot in the movies, I've noticed, is that anytime like the heroine or something has a weapon, they try to make it look like, well, it's more likely going to get taken away from her by the bad guy and used against her, or them, or whatever, whoever you want to say. I don't want to sound sexist, but you see that all the time. But that's just part of that indoctrination that, it's sometimes worse to have a gun than not, because it'll get used against you. That happens. You see that a lot. That's like the whole Batman thing of like, oh, if you use a gun, you're bad. Or if you enact violence on someone who's enacting violence on you, you're just as bad as they are. No, not if you're the person defending yourself. But that's something they've used for centuries to disarm people or make them think that it's the better part of valor to not fight back. Williamson County Sheriff says, hate it when suppressors are way too quiet. Yes, they make it sound like, that noise. Well, you're not going to get that unless you're shooting like a low speed, subsonic 22 out of a pretty big can. But they'll show people shooting like from, clear across a stadium, a little silencer come out from behind a curtain and poof, poof, and take out someone on a stage way down at the other end. And like blow a big hole through them. It's ridiculous how they portray silencers. That's another thing. It's plot convenient, and it is also part of that whole, people shouldn't have them because look how silent they are. Mr. Furley says firings with the safety lever on. I've seen that happen in a couple movies where the safety is clearly on the gun and they're still using it. I've also seen them going along with that, firing single action guns without cocking the hammer. Cowboy guy got a cowboy gun and they're holding it on somebody. Like, okay, I got my gun on you, don't behave. And I'm like, well, you might want to cock that hammer back. And then the person will do something quickly and then bam! I'm like, you didn't cock the hammer. So I don't know how that worked. Spud Gun chimed in and says, silenced autos not having cycling noise. Yeah, they don't. You would definitely hear the cycling. Even when you have like a little 22, like you're shooting a 10-22 and you've got a big can on it and it's like almost completely silent, you still hear the gun cycling. In fact, that's the loudest part sometimes is the gun cycling. But for some reason in the movies, it doesn't seem to do that. Now, another one I want to mention real quick is one that I don't like. And this is more of a tactics related thing with guns. Whenever the bad guy and the good guy are having a standoff, and this bad guy is already trying to kill everybody, and that's his game, to kill everyone, and he'll get like either their partner or their girlfriend or something and put a gun to their head and say, drop your gun now or she gets it. And the good guy will always put the weapon down and slide it over to the bad guy. If they're going to kill you anyway, why would you not take the shot? And usually they're like 8 feet away from them, got their gun pointed at them. They got their gun pointed at the other person's head. You could easily choose which eye you're going to shoot them in. But instead of just taking them out, knowing that if I give you my gun, you're still going to shoot her, then you're going to shoot me, because that's your whole goal that you've stated from the beginning. So that bothers me too. But that's, I don't know if that's a gun trope, but that's something that really, really, really irritates the daylights out of me. But those are some of the things that bother me. We got a few people weighing in there, not a whole lot. But what do you see in movies and TV shows that you absolutely can't stand? Things that they get completely wrong. Let me know in the comments section of this video. If you want to be weighing in on one of our topics live, come to our live chats. We do them every night at 6 p.m., except for Wednesdays when they're at 7 p.m. But for now, that's just a few of the gun tropes that really bother me and apparently bother some other people as well. Hopefully, I'll see some of you tomorrow at the live chat. I don't know what the topic is going to be yet, but keep your eyes open. I always put the chat up early with the topic right there on the screen. So come on in. Let your opinion be heard. I hope to see you then. Until then, remember, always carry and stay safe until I see you again.